All right, hey everybody, got another one of these review assignments evaluating algebraic expressions. So you go ahead and read this on your own. We're just plugging in, substituting in values and evaluating them. And we got to keep PEMDAS in mind. Sometimes we might want to plug in like -5 in for x right here and x right here. And we got to decide what to do first. Are we going to multiply this 2 to x? Or are we going to square x? Square it based on PEMDAS because exponent comes before multiplication. So let's take a look at a few of these ones here. What you're going to do on this assignment is you're going to plug in the same values, substitute the same values into each and every problem. So I was worried that some people might not see that note there. We're going to evaluate each expression below for x equals 4, y equals -2 down there, and z equals -3. So we'll have some fun with some negatives on this assignment, shall we? Okay, so it starts pretty easy. I'm going to do the first 4 and then maybe do some of the harder ones, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll see what I can get through in a few minutes. So this evaluate means simply plug in. Instead of writing x, I plug in with parentheses. Okay, x here is 4, so I'm going to plug that in for x right there. And now there we go. 2 times x minus 3. What does it equal? Well, if x were 4, it'd be 2 times 4 minus 3. We can actually read that one from left to right um, because we do the multiplication first, right, before I do subtraction. Anyways, 2 times 4 is 8. And then if I bring the minus 3 down, 5 is what that expression simplifies to. We're evaluating expressions for specific values that we plug in. Okay, now we have z equals -3. Well, what am I going to do? Instead of writing z, I'm going to write parentheses, right? Always plug in with parentheses is what I always say, okay? Because then it can tell you what to do. If I just plug -3 here and squared it, I might think I just need to square the 3. No, I need to square all of z. All of z. All of z is -3. So this is -3 squared. And what is -3 squared? -3 squared is -3 times itself. So I have 2 -3s there. So -3 times -3. So that's actually going to simplify to +9. Right? 2 negatives multiplied to each other equal a positive product. So 9 plus 5, that equals 14, and good to go. Here we have 3z minus 2y. So now I got to plug in -3 for z. And I'm going to plug in -2 for y, and I'm going to go ahead and evaluate here. And positive times a negative is a negative product. Negative times a negative is a positive product. So I got -5 for this one. Hopefully I'm right. I'm not checking my answers necessarily. Oh, here we got all three. So this was a fun one here. X is 4. Y is -2. Again, I'm plugging in with parentheses around the thing that I'm substituting on in, and then I can follow my rules of math to follow it. So here's PEMDAS. Whole bunch of multiplication. We've got some subtraction there. So we'll deal with that subtraction there at the end. 4 times -2 is -8. Okay, and then 4 times -3 would be -12. But actually, let's just look at this as -4 times -3. Okay, -4 times -3 is +12. And I got 4 for what this is right here. Okay, take a look at this one here. A little bit harder. So now I'm jumping ahead to number 7. Plugging in, we have another squaring here. Okay, so here I plug in x twice. I'm going to plug in x is 4 right here. 4 squared plus 10 times by 4 minus 20. And what am I going to do first? I'm going to do exponent first. 4 squared, that's 16 because that's 4 times 4, right? 4 times itself, right? That's what a squaring is. Just simply that number times itself. And then I have plus 10 times by 4. Again, I'm doing multiplication before I add, right? I'm not adding 10 to 16. I'm doing 10 times 4 first, and that's going to be 40 minus 12. So now PEMDAS, addition, subtraction, that's the last thing. So 40 minus 20, well, that's 20. Add 16 to it. You should get 36 for this one. If we did it correctly. Okay, this one looks a little bit weird here. Here we have a fraction inside of some parentheses. So you want to look to outside the parentheses. This 8 is not part of the problem. This is problem number 8. So this 2 here is technically multiplying into this. But remember, okay, let's go ahead and plug in actually 2. Okay, and then a 2. And x was what again? X was 4. And y is -2. So remember, this counts as grouping. This counts as grouping here on the numerator and denominator grouped together. So I want to do my grouping first because remember, it's not just PEMDAS, it's GEMDAS, grouping, exponent, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So any type of grouping, we want to simplify that first. And so here inside the parentheses, I can clean that up a bit. 2 plus 4, I can simplify. My numerator here is 6. My denominator here, -2 plus 1 is -1. And let's keep simplifying inside the parentheses. I can do this 6 divided by